A member of the Bunkrugu Nakpanduri District Assembly in the Northeast region is calling for police investigations into the looting of medical equipment and materials from a specialized health facility built in the district capital to tackle maternal and child deaths in the area. The assemblyman for Bunkrugu South, Naja Daniel, has specifically demanded the police interrogate a former district chief executive, Sampo Timothy Larry, who was in office in 2014 when the incident occurred. According to him, the police should also conduct a house-to-house search in the Bunkrugu township for the missing equipment. The facility, which never served its purpose, was constructed 6 years ago by the Japanese embassy through its international cooperation agency, JICA. As part of collaborative efforts in response to rising cases of maternal and child mortality in the district, the facility was immediately shut down a few days after an inaugural and handing over ceremony attended by top representatives of the Japanese envoy. It followed the mass stealing of equipment, including beds, mattresses, fridges from the facility by suspected members in the neighborhood. The facility has since been left to rot. Take a look.
Naja Daniel. I'm the assemblyman for Bunkrugu Central. Okay, this building was built by Japan Embassy for a maternity ward. They sponsored. After finishing it, they came and then handed over to the district assembly. And then the nurses came here and worked for only 4 days and then left back to the old hospital. They were there and then they left, they abandoned the facility, and finally what we heard that people are stealing things here, and then we came and found out they've stolen a lot of things. They've stolen beds, louvers, mattresses, fans, and other things. And then the whole place was abandoned. Why I said I'm worried is this. When a pregnant woman wants to deliver, and then if they cannot take care of her in the clinic here, we have to get a motor king, move here to Bindi Hospital, which will take us some time, and then the woman will suffer it a lot. Okay, my effort is this. We are yet talking to the district assembly. They should look forward, and then we'll see how we can assist our ladies, our women to be delivering in town. To investigate properly, to bring those people into book.
Would you contribute?
I have. I want us to be moving house to house and then get some informations. And we know some people who have taken this inside their rooms and then they are sleeping on them.
So let's get on the phone to interrogate this matter a bit longer. I have Awuni Mbabila. He's the Bunkrugu Nakpanduri Health Director. Mr. Mbabila, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
So what is your own story about the missing equipment from this hospital that's supposed to serve the community?
Please speak louder. Yes. In fact, it is not only the missing equipment.
Okay.
But good evening to your listeners and then all your cherished staff too. Actually, I took over. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead. We're listening.
I took over the administration of the district sometime October or so, 2018. And then when I took over, my attention was brought to the labor, the maternity block that was constructed by JICA. And I actually visited there with my team to do an assessment to see what can be done. After an assessment, I met with district assembly to find out what assembly could have done about the whole thing. And then even JICA also called me. They sent me emails to that effect and what I can do. And for me, as a health director, what we can do is that when the structure is provided, we can provide the technical, the human resource, and then all the services that the people of Bumprugu would have needed.
So you took over in 2000.
We realized that all the equipment which I am told JICA provided through the contractor and the district assembly or so, all the equipment have been taken away. And then when I actually met with the district assembly, I also we went and met with the paramount chief of the Bumprugu traditional area. And then he also told us that when he saw that they were taking the items, he also went and took the few equipment that were left.
Okay, so hold on, sir, for me. Let me just understand the story. You say that you took over in 2018. In 2018, you went there and realized that the facility did not have the equipment and the supplies.
Yes, as of 2008, when I got there, everything has been vandalized, everything has been
taken. And you say that you went there and spoke to someone who saw people taking the things, correct?
Is it?
You said you went back there and spoke to somebody who saw the people taking the things. Who is this person?
No, I'm not saying I saw somebody picking the things. I said I went there to do my own assessment, and I realized that nothing was there. I met with the district assembly to discuss what can be done. And then from there, I went with my team. We met the paramount chief of Bumprugu traditional area, who told me that when he visited the place and realized that people were stealing the items.
Okay.
So the rest of the items left, he went and collected them and kept them under his custody.
Okay.
So the things are under lock in his house.
Right.
I get in it.
So he told you that he saw people taking the things, so he went in to take.
No, he didn't tell me he saw the people. He saw people picking the things. He went there and people were stealing it. Okay. And he didn't meet any. Are you getting me?
Right.
I'm not saying he met somebody. He didn't see anybody stealing, but he realized that the doors were being opening and a whole lot or so. He realized that if he has
so he decided to take them to protect the rest of the things.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so I'm just wondering, in 2018, when you took over and found that the things have been stolen, and the chief actually confirmed to you that the things have been stolen, did you make a report with the police for an investigation to begin?
Oh, the thing have been well stolen. The construction was done sometime 2014, and then completion around probably 2016, 17 thereabout. When I took over, everything had been stolen. So when I went there and did my assessment, even JICA, we met with JICA with district assembly. And then my regional director also requested a detailed report from me about the state of the structure, which I provided. I wrote a detailed report to my regional director and then all that. Then invariably, I even met with the regional minister in his office. He summoned the district chief executive and then myself at the regional coordinating council for some discussion as to how the project can be brought back to book, because we have met JICA and JICA was threatening to blacklist Bumprugu from any type of donor funding whatsoever in the district. And then so the discussion was to see how the place can be brought back to book, so that if we need the district needs some form of support from JICA or other agencies, they could access.
And this could affect the community a lot, because if government, government interventions can't reach them, these are private individuals who are putting in their best, and they say they're going to blacklist you, which means none of the interventions they have will come to Bumprugu. What's your assessment finally of how quickly the facility can be brought back to work?
My assessment, with me as a technocrat, the assembly, in collaboration with the regional coordinating council, because the thing, the JICA and then assembly gave the thing to a contractor. A contractor finished and then handed over to assembly. I don't know much what happened and then the thing. So now it is the district assembly and then the RCC, if they can look at other source of funding, because JICA is not ready to put in any more funding again. JICA told me right in my face that actually in me as a district, I don't have an office. And then we don't have a district health directory. When I requested, I prompted, they told me that yes, they can support, but until those structures are put in place, we can't come for any form of support.
True.
So it's now left with the district assembly and then the RCC to look at what sort of the source of funding they can get to put the place into shape. If the place is being put into shape, and then provide the equipment that have been taken, provide light and water to the place. It is my duty to provide the staff, the technical staff, and all the relevant staff that we need to offer the service
to the people. I said that was my final question, but this is actually the final one. I want to find out from you. Give us a clear idea how this situation is affecting healthcare delivery in this district.
Yes, the place now Bumpurugu finds itself in Northeast region. And even when it was even part of Northern region, it is one of the most deprived districts you can talk of in the Northern region. And even in Northeast, it's about the west or the most deprived district, even still in Northeast.
Yeah.
And then we don't have such a facility. And this was a specialist, it was named maternity block. So it was like a special department that was built to take care of maternal and child health alone. And in terms of my women going to delivery, ANC and other things, this is a project that was coming to support our mothers going to delivery and other things. We get maternal deaths. People travel from long distances. They have to go to Bindi and then Faith Clinic, and then sometimes Nalerugu referrals and other things. So if this project was there, and then we have the skilled manpower in terms of the health delivery, I think that you have supported our mothers in these rural areas, moving distances, motor kings transporting pregnant women in labor to Nalerugu, Bindi, and all these things. All this frustration would have stopped.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a project that if it had come, it would have done a very good service to the people of Bumpurugu and its area. But it's unfortunate. But we still think that if our stakeholders, our people that matters, can run around and put things together, it will help all of us.
Thank you very much, sir. This is a rather disturbing situation. You heard Awuni Mbabela, who is the health director for the Bumpurugu Nakpanduri district there. I mean, how people can just take away equipment that belongs or that's supposed to take care of maternity women in labor, for example. It beats imagination. Well, as our correspondent reports, there are calls for investigations by the police. And we're following that story. We'll bring you the update as and when we have it. In the Upper West, where the branch of the Ghana Federation of Disabled has given a 3-week ultimatum to the interdicted Upper West Director of Ghana Education Service, Duncan Nso, to return the wooden truck to the WA School for the Deaf or they'll embark on a massive demonstration in WA. The absence of the multi-purpose wooden truck belonging to the School for the Deaf has brought some activities of the school to a halt. The GES last week suspended its Upper West Regional Director, Duncan Nso, for allegedly engaging in bribery and auctioning a wooden truck for the School for the Deaf without the prior approval of the Director General of the GES and the school. JoyNews' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam sat through the press conference and reports from WA.
According to the Upper West Regional Branch Secretary of the Ghana Federation of Disabled, Ibrahim Sani, the wooden truck was not part of the list of unserviceable vehicles listed for auctioning by the Ghana Education Service in the Upper West region. They were therefore surprised to hear from the interdicted Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Education Service, Duncan Insor, that the multipurpose vehicle was auctioned.
He further revealed that it was after he had borrowed the truck that he realized that the truck had been listed to be auctioned. When asked why he did not return the said vehicle to the school for due processes to be followed, he shamelessly said he did not want it to appear as if he was blocking the auctioneer from doing his work. Strangely, he could not produce any supporting documents to back his claim that the vehicle in question had been listed for auctioning and also to furnish the school file.
The Ghana Education Service, GES, last week interdicted its Upper West Regional Director, Duncan Insor, of, among other things, allegedly auctioning the said multipurpose wooden truck belonging to the World School for the Deaf. Several weeks after taking the vehicle to his native Zuarungu in the Upper East region, authorities of the School for the Deaf pleaded with him to bring back the vehicle for the pupils to use for extracurricular activities of the school, and he failed to heed to them.
We, persons with disabilities, have come to a convincing conclusion that the truck in question is in the custody of the regional director, Mr. Duncan Insor. Therefore, what we, persons with disabilities in the Upper West concern is that he has stolen the truck in question. We have come to this conclusion because of the following reason. One, he borrowed the truck and never returned it and has no convincing documents to back that the truck has been auctioned.
The absence of the vehicle, according to pupils and teachers of the school, has brought lots of inconveniences to them.
So we use it to buy wood, we use it to serve the students. Now, the regional director just took the car away. Now, we have vocational department here. Sometimes they bring wood to train the children. So now, if they buy some wood to bring it here, what car are we going to use to bring this? So please, director, make sure you bring back the car to us, to the deaf. We are human beings. Don't treat us that way. It is supporting us to learn. So just like the hearing individuals in society, we are also people. We are pleading with you, seriously, bring back the car.
They have therefore given a 3-week ultimatum to the interdicted GES director to bring back the vehicle, or they will hit the streets.
It is our considered view that even if vehicles were to be auctioned, the least we expected was to be any of the vehicles belonging to a special school like World School for the Deaf. We are giving the director 3 weeks to return the truck in question. Failing to do that, which all the 9 disability groups in the region forming the Ghana Federation of the Disability Organizations will hit the streets of Wa, the regional capital.
Meanwhile, Duncan Insor has denied all allegations leveled against him.
Oh yes, they are clean. They are clean, they will forever be clean. They are clean and they will forever be clean. Good men are always good. Good men, they are always good and they will continue to be good.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, yesterday, President Akufo-Addo addressed the nation. There are many fallout to be analyzed, including the reasoning behind the minorities' walkout of that State of the Nation address. Today, we'll be focusing on the president's concern about our lifestyles. Many of us are overweight, he says. Well, before we focus or we get to talk about that part of the show, here is a wrap of yesterday's State of the Nation address.
Mr. Speaker, the past 3 State of the Nation addresses by President Akufo-Addo have been characterized by a semblance of drama, from the display of placards with interesting inscriptions to the sealing of mouths with plasters. Often, these are expressions of displeasure by the minority. And this year, the minority MPs did not disappoint. They walked out shortly after President Akufo-Addo had taken his seat. Some majority MPs then crossed over to the minority side to occupy their seat. The president remained resolute, touting his achievements. First, about the economy.
The reputable global financial media house earlier this week highlighted Ghana as the top candidate for an economic leap in Africa.
On the health front, the president said Ghana had the largest medical drone delivery service in the world.
We're employing drones to deliver emergency medical supplies in remote areas. And today, Ghana has the largest medical drone delivery service in the world.
President Akufo-Addo had promised to modernize Ghana's economy. He insisted this was on course, further arguing that the fight against illegal mining had been largely successful.
Some excavators were also seized, and a number of them have gone missing. The police have arrested and charged some of the alleged culprits, and investigations are ongoing. No one involved will be shielded, no matter what their positions or political colors are.
He summed up his address by saying that Ghana was in competent hands.
The message of the state of the nation is that our nation is in good health. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Now, right after ending his address, President Akufo-Addo had some comments to make about the empty minority seats.
Mr. Speaker, my party and I know the nature of the task before us on the 7th of December, and that is to occupy all these seats. That's our task.
We pray that the good Lord will oblige all his wishes, including the latest one he made of full occupation of this honorable house.
And that was the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Mike Okoye.
If you didn't follow it, you weren't there, you haven't heard, this gives you an idea exactly what happened. So what were the minority MPs up to when they walked out? They spent time in their offices watching the president on television, whilst others left the premises with their offices locked up. Joseph Opoku Gakpo, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, visited some of them in their offices.
Is delivering the State of the Nation address. Why are you not in the chamber?
Yeah, as a minority, we decided that we'll walk out of the SONA for a number of reasons. That's why after the national anthem, we decided to go out. Our walking out is a protest for Ghanaians to know that this nation, the democracy that we have is under serious threat. And if we don't begin this way, I don't think we will have a future for this country.
How will a walkout of the president's address fix this concern that you're raising?
Yeah, it's a message we are sending to the president that we are representing the people, and the people are saying what you are doing is not good. So you must change your position, and that is what we want to. The message we want to go out to the president.
So we're continuing our visits to the offices of MPs to find out what they are doing. Richard Koshiga is the MP for the Keta constituency. So what have you been doing over the last hour or so since you, the minority, walked out of the chamber?
Well, as you can see, I'm in my office listening to the address being given by the president. So that's what I've been doing, listening to the president in my office.
If you really wanted to listen to him, wouldn't it have worked better you sitting in the chamber and listening to him than to walk away to your office to come listen to him here?
Well, of course, that's a decision we in a minority took, not to be in the chamber, by way of protest and to register our displeasure of the happenings in our country.
I've come to the office of the Member of Parliament for Odododio Neil Ante van der Poy. Let's see what's happening here. Oops. Well, the office is closed, but I can hear the television in the background. Is he here or he's out? Well, maybe he's not here.
Joseph Opoku Gakpo there. Well, the State of the Nation address will be debated on Tuesday. Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says minority MPs have the right to debate the President's State of the Nation address despite the decision to walk out. As I said, the debate is expected on Tuesday and will run until Friday. Some of the majority MPs had hinted earlier they will block the minority from participating. But responding to the questions on the floor, the Majority Leader said nothing bars the minority from participating in that debate. Joseph Opoku Gakpo will bring us more of that, what's been going on in Parliament today in our subsequent bulletins, though. Welcome back to the show and many thanks for staying with us. Well, Ghana is becoming more and more obese and experts are getting increasingly worried. Numerous campaigns have still not been heeded and more people continue to die from diseases triggered by obesity. Yesterday, President Akufo-Addo, like I indicated earlier, joined the campaign, raising a concern about the eating habits and lifestyle of Ghanaians and the lack of exercise especially. Today here on The Pulse, we're bringing you full analysis. We'll speak to experts, like I said, about this problem and how this is leading people to their graves prematurely. We'd like to hear from you through our social media platforms. So why don't you send me a WhatsApp on 054-010-9009. That's 054-010-9009. You can also reach us on Facebook and Twitter, where we have generated a poll. Go there and tell us what you think. Do you agree with the president that we have become a nation of obese people? The poll is on Facebook, so join in. We have these and more coming up. First, though, we go back to President Akufo-Addo's comment in Parliament yesterday during the SONA.
The nation has made progress in eradicating the communicable diseases that used to be the main cause of mortality. We're in danger of falling into the lifestyle disease trap. Too many of us are overweight. And obesity is an increasing problem, even among young people. The foods we eat, Speaker, the foods we eat, the mode of cooking, and the lack of exercise are all now having a great impression on our health. It is time we all learn to take responsibility for our individual health and accept that our health is very much determined by our lifestyle.
Cooked lack of exercise. Well, I'm sure you observed the reaction of the members of parliament when the president started talking about obesity. They were laughing. That shows how Ghanaians generally take matters relating to the food that we eat and exercises. But it's a very serious issue and very important risk factor to many diseases, especially type 2 diabetes. So here are some graphics that we put together. It gives you an idea. And it is coming from a recent work by done by researcher Albert Amwa and published in the Ghana Medical Journal that reviews some worrying statistics. It shows that prevalence of obesity at 23% and overweight people is at 14.1%. It shows also that more females are obese than males. Females are we're looking at 7.4%, whereas by males we're looking at some 2.8%. And that's really interesting. Why? We look at the fact that it increases with age. It is common among married people than it is among unmarried people, and it remains common among those with jobs than those without jobs. It's also found to be the highest in the Greater Accra region, where there's a prevalence rate of 16.1%. If you go to the Upper East and the Upper regions, perhaps they work a lot and they had the best result with a minimal presence. By ethnicity, if we want to look at obesity, we can look at how it was found to be the highest among Gadangme people. We're looking at 14.6%. And you can also attribute that to the number of kenke perhaps that we eat. So that's one of the favorite foods for the people within this bracket. If we move on to Eves, Matilda Gavi's people, we're looking at 6.6%. And we're talking also about Banku and about Akple and about all of those things that we like to eat. And so this work says that they saw that the people within this bracket seem to come after the Ga people. If you go forward, talk about Akans, put myself in that category. We like to eat fufu a lot. I don't like fufu, by the way. We're looking at a 6.0%. The obese people have usually have less physical activity days per week than the rest. Respondents in that work that was done by Ms. Amwas shows the history of angina or having been diagnosed with diabetes or taking insulin or blood sugar lowering medications were among more obese people than others without a history of these conditions. So what does it recommend? This report recommends increased awareness and promotion of healthy lifestyles, including exercising and generally healthy living, which is what we're doing now. So we stepped out to check out this problem, and we've been speaking to people who have been affected by this condition. Komla Adum has a story. In the meantime, I'd like for you to know that I have one of the people to talk to about this problem here in the studio is Joel Abekulia? Yeah, Abekulia, right. And he will be helping us to do that conversation. So take a look at Komla Adum's story, and then when we come back, we'll have a chat. Send me your messages, by the way.
Once you are big, people will mock at you. Others will be friends with you. I got a particular place that I passed when going to maybe meetings, or when you get there, these young boys, when they are in an area with you, you know how they behave. Hey, Opolo, shall I tweet? This, and so I start laughing. Any name you give me, I respond. Shall I tweet? Then I'll dance for you. I don't have problem with any name you give me. I respond. Unless you insult me. When you insult me, I'll tell you, don't insult me. Okay. Because I did not ask God to give me this. Okay. And I don't know how to put it. But I don't think be a big person. God created the short, tall, then we have all the sizes.
At 47, Lydia Korte can barely walk. And every 3 steps she takes comes with them gasp for breath. Her life is almost stagnating because she needs assistance to do nearly everything.
I can't walk longer distance again. I see the road as too long, so I will not go cry. You see, I'll just sit. Send my sister is with me, so anything I want, she will go and buy it for me. So I don't move. So I've seen some changes because I quite remember I went to hospital and doctor asked me I shouldn't stand when bathing. Okay. I should sit down. So you see, this is very bad. Because maybe you decide to take something from the floor, maybe you fall down. Or the doctor was trying to explain to me that blood could come out from my nostrils and it need death. And nowadays, when I walk through, I feel pains here. You see, first I don't feel that pain. Okay. But after Diasa, because I don't train again, I started feeling these pains. I can't walk longer distance again. So you see, the changes. If I don't take it 3, 4, 5 years, I might be in the room without coming out again. So I think I have to do something about it.
Lydia says she has forgotten how many kilograms she weighed the last time she checked 2 years ago. But the mother of 2 who sits with me for this conversation knows she's extremely obese. How has she been getting by?
At first I was playing volleyball, but after giving birth I stopped sports because I realized when you go to training, after training, I eat more because after training you go with your how do I call them, the training masters. You go and sit somewhere, then enjoy yourself. So I could see that training and not training. When I start training, I grow bigger. Okay. But when I stop training, I maintain my weight. So I stop training. And when you are big too, your chance of getting any sickness is easier. So I decided once you are big, people will mock at you, others will be friends with you.
Lydia is just one of the 43% of Ghanaian adults found to be either overweight or obese, according to a 2018 joint study between the KNUST and the University of Western Cape in South Africa. She would not eat 3 square meals now because she wants to cut down on her food intake.
With this my body, I don't supposed to take in more carbohydrates, but you will bear with me that carbohydrate food, when you take in, it takes you longer. So instead of taking like early in the morning, you take your breakfast, and within breakfast you take your fruits and those things. I don't do it because buying fruits and it was a lot of money, and I'm not working. If I'm working, that will not be a problem to me. So when I'm about to eat, what will I take? I'll take banku and then my shito, normal shito, and then some dried fish.
In 2016, the World Health Organization Health Observatory data revealed nearly 2 billion adults worldwide were overweight, and of these, more than 500 million were obese. Dietitian at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Andrew Tetekbabi, says the figures are alarming in Africa, with many risk factors associated with obesity.
The definition according to WHO is that a BMI greater than 30 kilogram per meter squared is obese. Obesity is caused by overeating. From a layman's point of view, it's overeating. If you overeat, you become obese. Obesity is one of the common risk factors for most of the non-communicable diseases that we have. Alright, so diabetes, cancer, high blood cholesterol, kidney problems, stroke, hypertension. The list just goes on and on. The food that you eat, you are supposed to use it. Alright, so when we talk of using it, breathing, walking, singing, they are all activities. Alright, plus the other activities you do. If you're amazing, you need the food to do all this work. It is quantified as food. So if you eat more than your body needs and you don't use it, you would become fat.
Latest figures on obesity are not readily available, but Andrew Kwabi believes a lot could change with obese people if they seek professional help.
Life, we have laws, we have natural laws. There's no way that you can get pregnant and in maybe 2 weeks the child is mature. No, it will take you 9 months. The same way it took you a couple of years before your weight is now 100 kg or before your weight is now 120 kg. It will take you some time. Alright, instant or rapid weight loss is not what we recommend. Alright, if you want to lose weight, we take your time. You come and see a dietitian or fitness expert. We take our time and plan a special diet for you. Because when we give you a very rigorous plan, you might not be able to follow it. So we need an individual plan. We can't give you a general advice here. So the way forward for such people is that you have to seek professional help.
Lydia joined a local dance competition for plus-size women organized by an Accra-based TV network, Atinka TV, 2 years ago to get out of her shell and find confidence in her own skin. The outsized woman, who is already out of breath, tells me after the dance competition ended, her situation has worsened because she no longer does enough physical activities. Currently unemployed, she says she is unable to subscribe to a gymnasium to begin a routine to shed off the weight. But dietitian Kwabi says expert assistance is required for people like Lydia to be motivated enough to enroll in a program to get them to shed weight. But people like Lydia or those overweight are now turning to the gyms for quick fixes. Coach Carter is a fitness instructor at X Fitness Ghana.
Most people come to the gym to lose weight. Okay, I'm just using weight loss as an example. Most people come to the gym to lose weight. Now, for something like weight loss, there's more to it than just coming to the gym. like I stated earlier. You will need to work on yourself as an individual. You will need to find out what is stressing you the most. You need to find out, what makes you happy, and then get that part of your life sorted out. After that, then you resort to physical exercise. Now, physical exercise or the gym helps speeds up weight loss. Okay, it helps speed up weight loss, but it isn't the answer.
Others have taken to dawn jogs up and down hilltops in parts of Accra. Mami Dufie is one of them here at New Fadama.
I am in a other station be here. I was them on Sana. My babon into me free say no. As a member of Bontina, Mbaye jogging kakra and Untina. Bye.
I started indoors, but I've decided to come out today.
4 o'clock.
Okay. About 2 hours. Okay. Would it be your first and last, and I'll be back more often?
Can be a member.
I have been here for 2 hours.
First, near war, Mamobi. Near your by a better, I say, near your baby, a year way. Into a grammar for family sisters, Musosha, or Mumra higher fine.
I used to be obese, but I've seen drastic changes.
And Mammy Pomu, a heading. First, and I'm so say, but me starting across half, my buffalo.
Up the Pedrassi Hill, many others in groups undertake aerobic exercises, like 35-year-old Emmanuel Kuma, who weighed 120 kilograms, about the weight of 2 cement bags.
I traveled out for my studies in UK. When I came back, I was bloated. I've become very, very fat. So friends were laughing at me, Obolo Toti. And then I decided to at least calm down, because it got to a point I was getting annoyed. Everybody was telling me Obolo Toti.
In South Africa, Parliament took a brave step towards promoting the health of the country's citizens and reducing diet-related non-communicable diseases such as diabetes by passing a bill to implement a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages. This, the World Health Organization believes, is a positive step. There are intensified campaigns for obese people to pay more taxes and pay higher for goods and services as a means of dealing with the matter. The success of this module has not been evaluated yet, but it is reported 1 in 3 Americans wants obese people taxed more. Hungary and Denmark are battling the obesity epidemic, but a fat tax on unhealthy foods is expected to help deal with the matter somewhat. In Africa, there are calls for such a measure to help deal with the burgeoning obesity numbers. That could limit people like Lydia from accumulating more body fats. And restaurants and food bars that serve food portions more than the consumer can have at a sitting must reconsider how foods are sold. Lydia wants restaurants to cut down on their food portions for obese people so they do not keep piling them up.
When you take me to a restaurant and the plate is 15, I'll take plate 15. If I can finish all, I'll finish all. If I can't finish all, I will leave the rest. I will not say because I use 20 Ghana, 40 Ghana to buy. So no, what I want them to do is because they have gone through the nutritional and this thing, and then they should be able, when they see a bigger person, they should be able to talk to the person, madam, this and this will not help you. But because they are selling, now selling is for money. I want my money. So whatever you want is what I'll do.
While she ponders over the next step to take, many Ghanaians say voluntary dawn jogging could help trim down some more. Today, the gyms are full, the parks are full, the hospitals are also inundated with people, and the 43% of Ghanaian adults found to be either overweight or obese are still hoping their weight loss journey yields results.
It's not just people who look like her who are overweight. There are people who actually look like Komla Adam who are also overweight. I'm not saying Komla is overweight, but people who look like her. So we have experts here in the studio to talk about this particular issue. Like I introduced to you already, Joel Abekulia, who is the National Lead for Risk Communication and Social Mobilization with the Ghana Health Service. He's already here. I've introduced him. You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
I also have here in the studio, we've just been joined by Dr. Benjamin Nyako. He's a clinical nutritionist. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I've already told you to share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page where we are running a poll. I do have my WhatsApp platform here. I want you to send me a message on it. What questions do you have for these people? See, I don't want us to waste our time going through the problems because we know the problems. Maybe you can give us a bit of a background and then we deal with the solution, because I want us to focus a lot more on the solutions. So we keep talking about it, but it's not really working. So let's start with that one. Since you work for us, as in you work for the state, and we pay you, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Abekulia. So, what's your assessment? Komla in his report says 43% of Ghanaians are overweight and obese. What's your assessment of how bad the situation is as it stands?
Yeah. So it is good that at least Komla has written something and we have. Actually, it's really a bad situation. And especially Ghana, we're already struggling with communicable diseases, and then we have issues like obesity that also contribute to the non-communicable also coming up. So it's really something that is terrible. And then the Ghana Health Service, as far as the Health Promotion Division, and then the National Communicable Disease Program is trying to address. Yeah, and this is just a study. So that's just a sample of the whole disease. Yeah. So it's actually worse in terms of like if we want to really expand the sample. Figures. Yeah, if we want to look at expand the sample and then get the number. And it's not only obesity, but you know, we have other areas in terms of hypertension and then what we call diabetes. Okay. That is also coming up. That has not been captured. And actually, there hasn't been any big study in terms of sponsored by the Ghana Health Service or the state to really ascertain what the situation is actually considering the country. So just packets of studies that have been done and then coming out with the evidence. So it's still good that these issues are coming out, and that means that like we really have to take action in terms of it.
We really have to.
I'm very glad that the president mentioned it yesterday.
All right, so let me bring you in as well, Dr. Nyako. What's your own thoughts? What are your own assessments? I'm sure people come to you with this issue. They come to you when the problem has already been compounded, and then they seek advice. Your assessment?
Yeah, like my colleague just said, it's becoming a problem actually, and it is a global problem. And since Ghana is one of the countries, we are also having the same or facing the same problem. And the rate at which people are becoming obese and overweight is alarming. And I'm glad the president touched on it. And the whole country is now made aware.
Right.
Yeah. It's a problem that we need to talk about it and then find solutions to it. Yeah, like he said, yeah, you know, why have we come, or when did we come to this?
Exactly what I was going to get to, because you say that the rate is becoming alarming. What is accounting for this?
A lot of things. One, the Ghanaian mentality. You know, we attach beauty and affluence and everything to it. Okay. So when somebody is getting pot belly,
when someone looks big,
when he's getting pot belly,
so living well,
we say that he's getting money.
I thought we dealt with that a long time ago. I mean, that used to be a thing when I was growing up.
I'm starting from where the problem started from, the origin.
Okay.
All right. So people felt when you eat well, when you live well, when you get a lot of money, you must eat so that you get pot belly. And so that is one, the psychology of it. And then number two, with you ladies, you know, guys these days, you know, want ladies that they have a little
who are curvy. Okay, so they have big buttocks, they have big hips.
So people just die. They eat. So that
really?
Oh yeah, because like we're saying, it used not to be like that in the olden days, but now the notion is that even I heard somebody, there is an artist singing a song that if you take small, you. So you see, the notion of the people also is part of the problem. And again, our lifestyle have changed. You know, we were on the farms, and then we moved to the cities. When you compare obesity rate, comparing the cities and the rural areas, you see there's difference. Why? Because those in the rural areas, they expend a lot of energy. They walk to the farms, they do a lot of work and walk back to the farm and to the house. Coming to the house, the household chores, everything is mechanical, everything is physical, let me say. Going to the riverside to fetch water, even cooking, washing, everything. Now when you come to the cities, we have the dishwashers, we have the microwaves, we have we have our internet, we have everything. So there is little motion.
So people have vehicles, people have
we sit in our cars
instead of walking, rather sit in a car.
And the internet itself has been now, you can do online shopping.
Everything.
You are sitting in your home, they bring it, so you don't move.
So we sit a lot. And the worst thing is that apart from sitting too much, we're also taking too much energy-dense foods. And that also accounts for the problem. We eat too much and we sit down. Another problem is the type that we eat and the number of meals that we consume per day.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want to become obese, you don't have to be eating all day long. Some people, they'll be nibbling at everything.
Okay.
All the time, you see. And the energy that you accumulate, you don't expend. And so you get fat.
Okay.
It will store as energy. And then also late suppers. When you eat late and you go and sleep, all the energy from the food is turned into fat because metabolism is at its low ebb. You see. And so these are the problems. And our lifestyle, like I was saying, the time we close from work and then we get into the traffic, by the time we get home,
you're tired.
You're tired and it's late and you eat a big meal, you see, and then you go to sleep. So you're definitely going to store all the energy as fat.
Okay, so big meal. I'd like for us to look at big meal, but before I bring in, I'm having a lot of feedback from here. We'll take some of those messages, but I want you to tell us, what have we done in terms of the Ghana Health Service, policy-wise? What has been the Ghana Health Services intervention to deal with this? Because like Doc is saying, like I know, I've had this thing when I was a child. We've known these unhealthy lifestyles, but what have you done to ensure that these things are changed, at least from the children, from basic schools, etc.? Have you done anything you can share with us?
All right, so we used to have a policy, national policy for NCDs, which expired in 2017. So we started reviewing it. So we had one that we've done, which is still in draft, from 2018 to 2022, which captures all these issues concerning the diets for the children, and even in schools, what are the policies concerning the food and then exercise or physical activity at the schools. And then what also needs to be done in terms of the public, and then also dealing with export and the import of some products that are likely to worsen issues. So I mean, with regards to some of these things. So it's still in draft and has not been passed into this yet. But very soon we would let that be.
Well, now that the president has spoken, you better.
So I'm sure it's something that we quickly need to take advantage of. Actually, I thought like he had seen it, and that's why the issue came up yesterday.
You thought the president may have seen it. Maybe he has. Maybe he's just really concerned.
So that means that those things are really, I mean, we're on the way to do that. But in the side, so the things that we're trying to do is that, we want to really make sure the system is sanitized in terms of, so that at least when we are moving, everything is coordinated. So we are trying as a health promotion division to try to make sure that we regulate the gyms, because actually we don't really know some of the programs that they run. To make sure that at least we know that they have programs that are in line with
but should that be our problem? They are there. So people who go to the gym are people who are already being converted.
Exactly.
So they're already looking out for good health. Exactly. So we should leave them and deal with those who are not.
Those who are not, yeah. So one other thing too, we're also trying to do is like education has been ongoing, and we have officers at the regional levels. And we always make sure that some of those things become topical issues when they are having discussions at their levels. Then listen for now.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So
I don't know. I don't know if that works for you. I mean, as an outsider, you don't work with the system, right?
No, but
so for an outsider, what do you make of it? Because from the statistics that we have seen, the problem is really in urban areas. So if there are interventions, perhaps the interventions ought to focus more on the urban areas. People, you know, middle class societies, people who don't put in a lot of exercise. Because we take the Upper West, for example, as we saw. They are good. They're good. The people are walking. They're doing a lot of farming work, so they're good.
That's right.
So the intervention, what are your thoughts on this? Then we go to the messages.
We already have it. We need to change our lifestyle. We need to go back to our origins, how we're living some time ago. Like he mentioned school children. In our time, we were walking to the school. Today,
but realistically, realistically, things have changed. Things are not the same. It's like saying there's shoe. I mean, they've invented shoes, but I don't want to wear shoes. I want to walk on the bare floor. Things have changed. We can't help it.
That is why I say it's a global problem, because globally things are changing.
Okay.
I said we were on the farms. When you go to the United States, they were on the farms about, say, 200 years ago. And then they moved into the cities after the industrialization. And then things started to change. And we are following suit. You see, when we change our lifestyle, like you say, things have changed. Now kids must be transported to school instead of walking. And how about the food they are served? The food that they are served. And I'm also glad that you have some policies in place. Yes. But the problem I see is that whenever you talk about these things, you step on people's toes. Because for me, we have a lot of hormones that those over there, overseas, and I'm talking about animal production, poultry, they give them a lot of hormones, growth hormones, so that they will grow very fast. And when you take the flesh, you also have the hormones. You also get
has this been scientifically proven?
Sure.
That the poultry product that we consume have hormones that then transfers to us, fast-growing hormones.
We know it's long time.
Oh wow!
Let me just.
Okay, I haven't seen that, and I don't want us to make this too scientific. I want us to make this more like a bread and butter issue. Okay. For the people who are sitting at home and watching us, they want to find out what can I do about my present situation to be more healthy. So let me just read you some of the messages, and then we'll go on Facebook and take what people are saying as well. Whether people agree with the president or not. So the question is: are Ghanaians becoming obese? As the president says, 68% of us think that yes. And let's see how many people have voted so far. 4,200 people have voted so far. So 4,200 people, 68% of 4,200 people think that we really have an obesity problem, that we are becoming a nation of obese people. 32% think we're not. I mean, talk about the Banku and the Kinke and the, I mean, it's just so difficult to, the jollof and the way we love our jollof, it's just so difficult to stay away from some of these things. But let's try and address some of these questions directly. Okay. This lady, I don't know if it's a lady, he says, I have a, is it lumbar problem? Lumbar, and I'm gaining weight. I want to exercise, but because of the issue, it's a bit of a problem. How then do I lose weight? Which of you wants to go for that question for me? So I believe he probably has a problem that makes it difficult for him to exercise.
Yeah, to get pain.
It's a pain at the back. Okay, so what does this person do?
Well, in the first place, he should change his or her diet. His or her diet.
Okay.
By including a lot of vegetables and fruits. When you take the vegetables, they have low calorie content, the fruits and the vegetables. So you should change the diet. And then also, you should also limit the intake. If at first, yes, it was taking like 2 balls of banku or kenke, you begin to take like 1.5, and that will help.
That will help.
To lose weight.
I hear that with fruits, there is still a lot of sugar.
Yeah, but the sugar in the fruit, you know, because there is fiber in the fruit, the sugar doesn't spike
like
the refined one.
Refined one.
Okay. So the fruit sugar is okay.
It's safer. Okay,
right.
You wanted to put
yes, I just wanted to add that you see, obesity, there's sometimes depending on how you measure, you may be having some, because when somebody lifts, the person gains tissues.
Okay.
So when you measure that person's BMI, you might think the person is no, definitely he'll be obese, depending on the person's weight. Which at least is good, but because the person has muscles, so we need to put all those things into perspective. But this one, I know, is about the
we know what we're dealing with.
Exactly,
we know we're dealing with.
So
those of us who eat late
and all those stuff.
A lot. Eat a lot of simple carbs and have become bigger with bigger stomachs. And when we go to Parliament, if we want to do this in Parliament, please don't bring me to the Privileges Committee, but if we want to take Parliament, for example, we don't have very good examples here. Most of our parliamentarians are obese. And so they were laughing when the president said this yesterday. So this one says, what's the best time for one to exercise? And can one eat before exercise? Let me throw that to you.
All right. So I always want to use the simple lesson. For exercise, I don't think there's a time for time for doing exercise.
Okay.
Exercise is just meant to kind of hasten your metabolism, so that at least you can be able to break down whatever you have taken.
Okay.
Exactly. So depending on the time that you want, you can do your exercise. And then that's why in terms of maybe advising somebody on the exercise and then the diet that you should take, I always want to have an evaluation about the first.
Okay.
Because sometimes you cannot just give a blanket this number, but at least there are some principles that work for everybody.
Okay, let's go through that quickly.
But depending on that, so the thing is that what do you call it? For somebody to be obese, it's just that the person has eaten more than the body needs, or more than what the body can break down.
Okay.
So usually you need to know what amount of body mass that is excess. Then based on that, you'll be able to determine what sort of exercise that can be done to quickly break it.
Okay. Use me as an example.
So for example, I will need to know your job schedule, and then what do you eat in a normal day. So for instance, what do you take for breakfast?
Okay, I don't eat breakfast.
You don't. Okay, so let's take lunch.
Lunch.
How is your normal lunch like?
I'll eat something like chicken. That's because these days I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'll spend time eating, say, chicken or eggs, or I'll eat kontomire. Again, because I'm trying to. But ideally, if I get jollof, I'll eat spa.
You eat jollof.
You know.
Exactly. So, and then your work schedule.
Well,
actually, definitely you are not dealing more of like physical activity.
No, so we do run around a lot. Yes. We do run around a lot, but it's not as, it's more here. We use more of our brains.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is why, like, sometimes you need to. So you need all those things to be able to advise on the meal that you take. Okay. For instance, somebody who is a mason, definitely the person needs the energy to listen. So you'll be counseling the person more on what do you call it? The food that the person is taking. Maybe it's banku that the person, that maybe at the end of the day, the person will be able to break down the food. But for jollof, looking at what you do, definitely you may retain some of the things after.
Okay. So I should not eat jollof.
No, you should eat jollof. You should eat jollof, but the quantity.
Just a little. Okay. Okay.
And the more that is
Okay.
To come in.
Yeah, please do briefly for me. We're running out of time. I need to wrap up, unfortunately.
Oh, but you said that we should localize it.
Yes.
And right now we get a lot of kiffy clubs who run jog on Sundays.
Yeah.
But what I've observed is that after the hectic exercise, they go back.
And eat loads of kinky.
That's right.
That is not working either.
Yeah, that is not good. Because you expended the energy and then you just replace it.
So at the end of the day, you have done nothing. You have wiped out all the exercise they have done. Well, the Keep Fit Clubs, I hope you are listening. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but there are people also raising concerns about pork fat. They say pork fat is healthier. So for those who are doing keto, for example, they recommend a lot of pork, so they eat a lot of pork. Is it a good thing?
No.
Really? Why not? Because we eat that a lot in the newsroom. So why is pork not good? MFR Pao, I'm sure MFR Pao is watching. Please advise us.
Yeah, actually, you don't need too much fat.
Okay.
In terms of oil. And when we say fat, we have the oils and the fat. Oils have higher caloric content.
Okay.
So if you take too much pork, which has a lot of oil, you are just increasing your calories. And at the end of the day, you gain weight. So it will be prudent to use very little. All kinds of oil though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me see if I can take some of the comments here and then we can call it a wrap. I guess that maybe going forward we can still arrange some of these conversations and answer people's specific questions. More of the education. Yeah, we'll bring the invoice to the Ghana Health Service later.
Don't forget about the CRS. Corporate social responsibility.
That's the corporate social responsibility we have done, sir. Anyway, this was says, please find out from the experts the normal weight for persons between the ages of 18 and 30 years. Isaac from Fumbensi sent that one. Is there a normal, on average rate for persons between specific age groups? Is there anything like this?
All right. So there are standards. Yeah, but for instance, I can't relate to that, but there are standards that we use.
Okay.
Yes, that I think Asians have some standards. So your age and then your height and this and that you're supposed to be.
Okay.
And that is why usually they used to even determine whether you are
your BMI.
Okay.
BMI.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this one says, I'm Kofi Bedu Chumesino, Boise Ashanti region. I'm 47. I've weighed between 59 and 61 kg over the past 25 years. Do I have a problem? Says to find out from my panel. Does he have a problem?
Yeah, just like we were saying that, you see, whether you are obese or not depends on your body weight and then your height. We have what we call the BMI. So we cannot sit here without seeing him and say you are okay or not.
So for people like that, you recommend that they'll see, you know, specialists, or they will see people who are, say, a nutritionist for them to, can't you just decide for yourself, you know, weigh yourself up and decide that you are overweight? Because if you're overweight, you should know, right?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Will you consider yourself an overweight person? Because I see you that you don't have a lot of flesh, but you have a little bit of a belly there. Does that make you overweight?
It's my shirt.
It's your shirt. Okay. Okay. So please, is obesity as a result of only poor eating habits and lack of exercise, or could it also be genetic? My grandmother is big. My mother is big.
Sometimes genetic. Yes.
Okay, so it's genetic as well. But the point is, and I'll take final words from them as to what you can do going forward. You can resolve to eat right, eat better than you used to do. Final message here. Good evening, Gifty. The obesity situation is becoming worrisome. Our energy input is more than our energy output. We consume more and do less. And I say that this is a cultural problem. So in the food, the way we eat our food, so we have 2 bowls of banku, have a tiny fish, and then maybe some egg, some pepper, and we're gone. I don't know how we can break away from that mentality, but it seems that it's been a big part of the problem. I'll take your final words, and we call it a wrap. Maybe I should start with Ghana Health Service. Now that the awareness is being built up, what should people do from now on?
Yes. So I think what people should be doing is to be involved more in physical activity.
Okay.
And for physical activity, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. When you wake up in the house, actually we have different types of exercise that you can do. You can just hold your wall and then just lift your legs for a while. You know, once you start, you feel it yourself if you are doing exercise or not. Yeah. So and then these push-ups, which can be done in the house. So sometimes for busy people, you don't really need to schedule to go to a gym. Yeah. You can actually do it in your room before you leave.
Yeah. Which is what I try to do.
Exactly. So some of those things that so physical exercise, and then also for the children. It's very important that when your child is going to school, you know, now parents have the habit of providing snacks, and we know what some of those snacks can do. I don't want to mention, but
you don't have to.
Exactly. So let us try to introduce the locally made ones, the sobolos, and then even now you can quickly just buy some fruits, you cut it nicely, and then put it in your child's bag to send to school.
Okay.
Yes. So And this also goes to the teachers, because sometimes I think some of they are the ones who push, because they see the children, other children having it. The child wants to have it, and they say, okay, when you're coming next time, bring it. So they should also promote the taking of fruits and the healthy
lifestyles at that level. And I hope that the free, what's it called again? Free meals that are provided in school by way of policy, government policy will include more healthier, because we see the rice, plenty rice, they put it in a bowl and then they sprinkle something that looks like soup. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have a lot of time. Doc, let me come to you for your thoughts.
Well, I would say that people should limit their sugar intake, their oil intake. And also, you said something that you don't take breakfast.
Yes.
It's not good.
So I hear.
You need to take breakfast.
Okay.
And then we say that you eat your breakfast like a king.
Okay.
Because you need all the energy to
What's the best time to eat breakfast? 7 a.m., 8 a.m.?
It depends on
the time you wake up.
Yes, the time you wake up and your schedule.
Okay.
All right, so you need to eat breakfast. And then you eat lunch also like a queen. And then you eat your dinner or supper like a pauper.
Pauper, that's what they say.
Yeah, if you do that, you will lose weight.
Okay. But you have to exercise as well.
That's
well,
right.
like I'm saying, as long as these resource persons are available, we'll try and bring them in so we can answer some of the questions and continue with education so all of us can live healthier lives. And I'm really grateful that you joined us, gentlemen. I've been doing this with Joel. The normal BMI. That's what, 24.9 kg?
Yes.
For someone between the ages of 18 and
for
30.
an adult.
For an adult.
Yeah, and then for children it's between 2 to 18. That's
okay,
normal.
we'll talk about this a bit more, maybe perhaps the next time you're able to come. Joel Abekulia is a national lead for risk communication and societal mobilization with the Ghana Health Service. He's been doing this for us. And also Dr. Benjamin Nyako is a clinical nutritionist. He also joined us in the studio. I'm sure that as we go on, we can bring them in more of the time. Then perhaps you can have a direct interaction with them. And we'll see how that helps you on your new body goals for 2020, inspired by President Akufo-Addo at the State of the Nation address. Thank you very much for coming. A rather disturbing story. Police is investigating a 32-year-old man who is alleged to have defiled his 12-year-old daughter in Agbogba, a suburb of Accra. The accused, who is a private security person, is said to have forcefully had sex with her daughter at knife point, threatening her. It took the bravery of the 12-year-old, who could no longer take the ordeal and had to stole the father's phone and called the police for help. My colleague Emmanuel Lante has been following this story and joins me in the studio. But before then, let's hear the coordinator of CID Dofsu unit of the Medina Police, Superintendent Sufaya Eva Enim, confirm the story.
We were here when a case was reported of a girl being forcibly taken from the school during classes hours by the father. Apparently, this girl happened to stay with the auntie. So the school alerted the auntie, and then we went to the scene. So before the patrol team could get to the place or could reach the place, this man had jammed the wall with the daughter, with the knife in one hand and daughter in another hand. So we had to give a warning shot before he surrendered, and we rescued the girl and arrested the man. So the girl, when we interviewed, now revealed to us that the first time that the father took her to wherever he was, he asked her whether he could kiss her, and she refused. Then she was also asked to massage the penis with a pomade by the father. The girl again refused. So it was then that the father took an hacksaw so the girl had to obey whatever the instructions the father was giving her. So that night, he had sexual intercourse with her. Then the next day dawn, he also had sexual intercourse with her. So the following day, whilst the girl remembered that the first time they came to the police mentioned the phone number of the investigator to the auntie. And the number was still in memory. So she told the father that she was going to the washroom. She went to the washroom, stole the father's phone with her, and quickly called the investigator where the father is hiding her. That was how come we went to the place and we rescued her and arrested the father as well. Currently, the girl is in a shelter with an NGO, and the father was sent to court. He is now on court bail, reporting to court. Yes.
That's the Medina CID Dofsu unit lead superintendent Sophia Eva Enim there. Imanolanta is here with me in the studio. So Ima, what more do we know besides what the narration from Superintendent Enim?
Well, I spoke to some of the residents in the area, and they say they heard the girl crying. They heard the girl crying at some point. They tried confronting the guy, and the guy told them that in the face that it's his daughter. He chooses what to do with the girl. They don't have any say, and threatened them with some juju kind of thing. So they were all afraid of the guy. Nobody is friendly with the guy, and so.
Did they report then to the police? Did the people in the neighborhood report then to the police their suspicions? Did they tell you that?
No, they said they could not because the guy was threatening them that he will kill them with juju if they try to meddle in his business. So it was the girl's auntie who, when he got wind of this, that went to the police to report to the police about it. So it is not the first time
this has happened, because that's what the superintendent says. Yeah. But the first time he was arrested, he was let go because then it happened again. Yeah,
he was let go because at the time, the girl had not confirmed that indeed he had sexual intercourse. Okay. The only thing that he confirmed at the time was that the man tried to kiss her.
Okay.
So they thought that it was not strong enough to keep the man in prison. So that's why he was let go and given a warning not to do that again.
And they left the girl with him?
Yes, the girl was with her auntie. That's the man's sister.
So after they let him go, he then goes to the sister and then takes the girl to this place where he is a security operative in the night or whatever it is, and then slept with a girl there. I mean, according to the report.
That's exactly what happened. Yes. That's exactly what happened.
What is the police saying? What are they going to do from now? He's been taken to the court. Yeah. He's been granted bail.
Yeah, they are still on it, and they are gathering information. They are gathering evidence to really get this guy behind bars. Okay. They have tried as much as they can. Arrangements are being made for me to speak to the girl, to get the girl's own perspective of what really happened. Okay. But the police is gathering information, and I'm told that by next week, they are going back to court to get, but the guy is around. I'm told he's around, but he's no more.
He reports to the police station because the superintendent
to the court.
So he's supposed to report to the court.
So he goes there, and I got the information. I got the confirmation that he goes there every time that he's supposed to go to that place. So.
Yima, thank you very much for that update. It's a very terrible story, one of those you hear. So the police is saying that the girl has told them, the 12-year-old girl, by the way, has told them the number of times that his father has sexually abused, her father has sexually abused her. The police is still investigating. He's been granted bail.